Okay, so we're back. As I promised, we're going to use my Dremel to polish some rusty old lures. Yeah. Try to make them shiny because you know what? It's trout season. So let's point you all down. All right, there you go. So first, we're going to use a sort of steel wool, steel wool, and we're just going to do a little scrubbing. So you don't have to make it really fast. So basically, a little slow. And we want to scrub this. Try to get the surface rust off of it. And you'll find this is starting to shine up nicely. We may not have to use any polish whatsoever on it. You just lightly do it. See how much shinier it is? It's getting real shiny. By the way, having these hook guards is really nice. In case it comes out of your hand, you don't want to hook yourself. You don't want it to shoot across the room, and well, you'd rather have it shoot across the room than into your finger. So that's basically what we're doing, is just sort of taking all that surface stuff off of it. Again, having a hook guard is a really smart thing to do. Just in case. You ever had a piece of wood fly out of a table saw or something like that? You really don't want that to happen with a hook. Now it's rotating clockwise, so that's why I've got the lure on this side. But this lure was really yucky. And just with some steel wool, I'm able to make this thing look brand new. Let's do the body. The body was really yucky. That's what I was telling you. Basically, you can get some garage sale items. Be surprised what you can do with a Dremel. The Dremels are not that expensive, and it's little things like this that actually they're great for, although I've used them to do some modifications on stuff. Get the ball. Look at this thing. This thing's looking brand spanking new. Looking good. So look at this. So this was, looked pretty bad. Look at that. That thing's shiny. And this looked like it was beyond help. The body, look at that. It's shiny again. This lure, with just a little bit of work and a nifty little tool, now you can hand do it. Just take 4/0, which is 40 steel wool, and just work it. So let's see what we can do with this one. Look at this. See how dull that is? Both sides? Really dull. That, really dull. Okay, so let's see if we can bring this one back to life. Remember, before, if you've got these, that'd be great. So put this on here. Okay. Protect your hand. This is an old MEPS. You guys can see that. You can. Look at that. What a big difference. You can actually see the MEPS logo on it again. It's looking brand new. This is just still wool. It's a wire wheel. Didn't even see that fish logo on it. Look at that. Look at that. This is before. This is after. Big difference. Let's do the back side. I want you guys to see it. Now it's coming out. A lot of oxidation on this one, but it's polishing up. You're just pulling off that oxidation off of it. I did catch a couple big trout yesterday. I'm going to cook them up tonight. I couldn't find my fillet knife, though. My goodness. So I'll have to probably cook them on the bone. Some garlic, lime, lemon, or lime, whatever I got. I prefer lime. And butter. Look at that. Look at that. World of difference from old to new. Seeing if there's any little spots on it. There was one. Okay, so now you can look at that, the center. So let's polish that up. rotating, so it's a little easier. As long as it rotates slower than my wheel is spinning, I'm good. Okay. Look at that. That is a fantastic looking spinner. That's going to catch fish. All right. Well, I don't have a hook guard on this one, but look, this one's pitted. Now, the problem with pits, I don't know if I'll be able to take it all down. So what I might have to do with this one is sand it. Because there's so much on this one. So this old Kastmaster, Kastmaster is heavily pitted. This might not be able. I might not be able to take this one. Make it let's try a side. This is where the sanding wheel comes into play. Basically, I got to get this thing down to metal. I'm doing one side to see if it's worth my effort. It looks like it will be worth my effort. Look. It's that side. That's what it did look like. That's what it did look like. Hey, Jared. No, I am bringing him back to life. So I already did these. This one's pretty far gone, but I figured if I sanded down a good portion of it, I could polish this up. Again, before and after, you can see the big difference. And it is a big difference. I'm just using my Dremel sanding real light just to get the I have to take quite a bit of metal off of it in order to get this Kastmaster to look pretty good. And then we'll take the steel wool to it. Then we'll take the steel wool to it. We might have to do a little polish on this, fill in the nooks and crannies. Yeah, I think it's gonna work out this time. Oh, phone's ringing. Solicitation. So much nicer when they didn't have cell phone numbers in the old days. Now you can just look up people's cell phone numbers online. Do you have any college degrees, or what kind of career did you have before? Oh, my career was retail. I do not have a college degree, although I went to school for 3 years. I gave up college for ministry. The About 30 years, I ran big box, big multi-million dollar retail stores, mostly for Good Guys for half my career. We were an audio video company down in LA or in California. And then I started my own business, my own retail store. And after that failed, I had a marketing company, an international one, which I traveled around the world doing that. Put like 50,000 miles just in 1 year. And then I started working for Best Buy, managing one of their top 10 stores, and then Orchard Supply Hardware. And I loved it. I love people. I love my employees, all of them. And I've had thousands working for me, even the ones that disappointed me. I still loved it. It's just, and they knew that, even if I had to fire them, they knew I cared, and then they actually felt bad that they let me down. My career was so much fun. I mean, every day I made new friends. Customers were great. Had a good old time with them. And we just had it. I mean, to be honest, we just had a good time. I always taught my people there's two ways you can run a business. You can make your people do their job, or make them want to do their job. And you really got two different. I mean, both managers got the job done. One just got it done better. And that's why my stores were the best in the company. When I was with Orchard Supply, we were the number one store in the company. Good Guys, I was top 10. And with Best Buy, top 10, not 10%, top 10. Just on Black Friday, we do $1.6 million. We do $1 million by lunchtime. And we process 15,000 people in a day. Yeah, Fresno had a lot of money. Probably still does. But Best Buy has changed quite a bit. But I really enjoyed my career. I really did. I wish I could still be in retail. But like I said, I get about 2 weeks relief from my treatments, and my lungs are starting right now. They're starting to get bad again. So I'll get to the point where I can barely breathe, and then I'll go back in the ER, and they'll do what they do for me, and I'll be able to breathe for a couple weeks after a week of treatments, of steroids. And know any guys in the biz that can find a PlayStation 5? I'm not into electronics anymore. I take it PlayStation 5s are hard to get because you're asking. But I do know a lot of people in electronics. And, the manager of the Fresno River Park store, Best Buy, he and I are from the same small town, Lompoc. And although he went to Cabrillo, I went to Lompoc High. So we were rivals. He's a nice young man. His wife is wonderful. Good people. Good people. So I could probably. And then the district manager, I know, he's the one that fired me though. So for no good reason, he wanted his boy. So, but yeah, that's okay. So this is about as good as this. Let's try polishing it. Let's try to fill that in with some polish. So we'll put some polish. Are they? I don't know. My kids have an Xbox. They have an Xbox. So I don't know. I don't know anything about PlayStations anymore. Back when I sold, I mean, Wii was the big thing, you know. So it's been a little while, I guess. When I was in college, though, I had a Mattel Electronics Intellivision. That was an awesome gaming system. Killed the Atari. Boy, did I have a lot of games for that. So we're polishing this up. But lots of polish. We got a lot of nooks and crannies to fill in with this thing. This thing was so badly pitted that, all right. So, let's take that. For the time that you went to college, what did you study? Oh, personnel management. My major was personnel management, minor in math. I was a mathaholic. I loved math. I would triple up on math courses. It was like PE to me. Math just came easy to me. So, but personnel management, which means I had to study, I wanted to head up human resources in larger corporations. I had no idea how boring that would be. But all this work for an Acme Cast Master, they're what, $2.99. This is a big one. Look, that didn't take long for these, though. Look at that. These are MEPs. Okay, that's a MEPs. See that? I think MEPs aren't cheap. This right here it would cost, I don't know, like $4 or $5. That's I don't know what $4 or $5. That's $10 right there. $10. Personally, any $10 saved is $10 earned. In the old days, that we used to say $1. So, but we're going, and then I got two trout yesterday. I got 2 trout yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but in the morning we didn't catch anything. We went to lunch, had a great burger at the restaurant at the resort, and then we went back out on the water. I saw a trout jump out of the water. We were talking to a couple other kayakers, and I cast it over there. Second cast, I caught that little sucker. It was about 1.5 pounds. And and then the second one was about 2.5 pounds. So I got 3 or 4 pounds of trout to cook tonight. So that's good. Barbecue it. My wife doesn't like the smell of fish in the house. It was so funny. I brought him home in a 5-pound 5-gallon bucket, and my cats, they knew what was inside. So, okay. So there you go. There you go. That thing was pitted and ugly. And this thing's shiny. Booyah. That's $13 saved. And it allows me to own a cool tool, which any reason to own a cool tool is cool. I have an associate's in math, but I'm good at anything after calculus. I was addicted to higher math. I loved algebra. Now, mind you, you're probably a lot younger than me, Jared. I was in school. Okay, we're talking early 80s, okay? And in college. And when I was in school, we didn't have all these really cool calculators. And I took 3 semesters of statistics too, by the way. And statistics is not an easy math at all. But I'll tell you what kind of geek I was. The I think it was in algebra. We studied matrix math. Matrix math is simple. I mean, it's just rows and columns of numbers. And then it's really simple. It's adding and subtracting. Well, that same semester, I took computer programming. So I figured, okay, this is all redundant, easy stuff. So what did and calculators, I don't even know if calculators still do matrix math. I don't know. But what I did do is that I wrote a computer program. Now, back then, it was just basic language. It was before Fortran and COBOL came out. So I wrote a basic program to do my matrix math homework. And I did it. Now, mind you, that wasn't an assignment. I mean, my final exam in computer programming is that we had to create a chessboard with knights starting at opposing corners and randomly catch each other until one caught the other. Which, the whole idea was to learn randomization, commands. But when I actually wrote a program to do my math homework. So, bam, that's what kind of a geek I was in school. I didn't date much. But that was fun. I mean, I'm still pretty proud of that program. And like I said, matrix math is kind of a weird thing. I mean, it's simple, but it's just, you just have to, I don't know, calculators do matrix math? Do you know, Jared? Yeah, I know. And it was a simple program to write, too. I mean, it had to be. I was in college and a lot younger. I was smarter, too. Do calculators do matrix math? I don't know. I mean, nowadays, you can just download. See, we didn't even have... I did my mate. Okay. All right. If you even know anything about the history of computers, I did my homework on computer programming on a Commodore 64. Yeah. Which this was essentially a Commodore 64, a keyboard. Had, 64 kilobytes of memory is all it, and nothing permanent. So in order to store our programs, we put them on tape drives back then. Yes, we had floppy disks, but not much, because the 5-inch floppy was expensive back then, and then the 3.5-inch floppy came out, and it was it's just what we did. I know. I mean, I took accounting, because you had to learn accounting, and then I switched colleges when it didn't transfer, so I had to take 3 semesters of accounting, and it was all, there's no such thing as spreadsheets back then, none. We did it all, bam, by hand. Balance sheets by hand, pages and pages. And if it didn't balance even off a penny, try to find that error. I actually, on my final, because it was like 5 pages long, the balance sheet, I actually erased something and then changed it, totally random area in the middle, in order to get it to balance. And he didn't catch it. So that's good. Can't cheat in computer programming, because after you print it out and run the program, it does what it does. But in accounting, that's not, you can hide it a little bit. But I was an avid handball fan. They can do matrix algebra. They can do that now on computers, on calculators. Well, probably tablets. Probably. So that's cool. See, I invented that. I did. Michael Ruffino, 1983. Booyah. I invented the program to do matrix math. If only I knew how to capitalize off of that invention. Mother of necessity, So I did it. But I did pretty good in school. I didn't have to study a whole lot. I worked full time in order to get myself. I was a waiter, and I was waiting on tables while I was, to pay my college back then. College back then was cheap. We only paid $15 a unit. So nowadays it's ridiculous how much college costs, even JC's. So it wasn't very much, and our books were only like $40. And so nowadays it's just ridiculous. My oldest just graduated college, so I know what it costs. And then I've got two others, behind. So, but I had a great time. I had a great time in school. I was too shy to ask girls out, so girls asked me out. So I did date. I did go through these stints where girls would ask me, and then nobody would ask me. Girls would ask me. So, but I had a good time, and I loved my career. I tell you, if you're a salesman, being a salesman, you can always find a job. Always find a job. You'll never be unemployed, not for long anyway. I was a couple times, but not for long. I can always sell, and it was just fun. Gosh, customers are fun. Even the mean ones are fun, because what great stories they have. I mean, this basic app called Graphing Calculator, but it's basically a Texas Instrument 84. And I like to play around with it. It's $5. Oh my God. Texas Instrument invented the statistical calculators. And HP had, there was one guy in algebra. Oh, he had a function on his HP. And back then it was called Palm computers. And he had this one key. Every one of us had to do it longhand, not him. He pressed a button. We really hated that guy, because it was like a $500 calculator. It was expensive. I actually won one of those from Good Guys, and I gave it to my brother-in-law, who was a real estate agent or something like that. And this way he could use it for, stuff. I had no reason to have such a really nice Palm computer. So, but yeah, Texas Instruments, they invented the statistical calculator. Everybody wanted a TI. Everybody. So, but yeah, we just didn't have them back then. I mean, you had to have money back then. And I was paying my own way through college. So, my tips went towards girls, cars, more important things. I had a 75 Mustang back then with a V8 302. That thing broke down more than anything. I spent more time under it than I did in it. I hated that car. I got that car right after my 69 Dodge Charger. I blew it up in a race, being young and stupid. But I eventually got another 69 Charger. But I will never have a V8 302 again. I know people love them, but I was abused by one. So you don't go back to a relationship that abused you. So did not like it. Modern calculators can solve integrals for area under the curve and basic derivatives. Well, I'm sure they've come a long way. I mean, they've come. I love this one calculator that does fractions. I actually downloaded that. This is so cool, because I never liked fractions, and I just never liked them. So now you can get a fractional calculator. You can put the top, the common, the denominator, numerator in there, and then whatever, and then it comes out with an answer. I love that. I love geometry, algebra, statistics. It's just algebra to me is the most practical math in the world, because every day we solve naturally algebraic equations. Naturally, we're always trying to, anything you can think of, you're always trying to figure out what's missing. And that's basically an algebraic problem. So I love algebra. I mean, to me, math was a puzzle, a game. And that's probably why I wrote a program to solve the game. Basically, it was a game. I did actually programming, just a basic shooter game in my Commodore 64. I know, such a geek. But I could play handball too. My coach was ranked third or fifth in the nation, something like that. I mean, he was top ranked player in the nation, and he was my coach. I mean, I was fat and out of shape and broken nowadays, but back then, man, I could run 20 miles in the morning, and I did. Um, I was just physically fit back then, so I had a great time. College was fun. College was fun. It was fun. Look at that. Look at that. That is so shiny. That was just. If you go back to the beginning of this video, I mean, these things. I did a pretty good job. So I don't know. That'll probably catch fish. This one's so pitted. I don't know if that'll last, but this is a big one. It's a big one. Oh, and also on my trouts yesterday, I was able to baptize my new rig. So it caught both trouts. So that was very cool. Wish I was good at higher level math. Engineering would be so much easier if that were the case. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I liked people more than math. Unfortunately, I loved math, and girls don't care for guys who like math as much as I do. But, yeah, we kind of had a cool car, and, back then, I had long hair. In college, I had long hair, brown hair. Can't tell today, but I had brown hair and my green eyes. And I was physically fit, so girls liked me. So they just come up to me at lunchtime and they ask me out. And who was I to say no? I mean, I didn't have the guts to ask them out, so I always said yes. I was always a gentleman. I never kissed on the first date. Fortunate to even hold their hand. Very, very much a gentleman to my dates. Always paid for them. Although sometimes I was broke, so I took them to the beach. Yeah, I'm from the coast. So California coast. Took them to the beach. It was a cheap date, or a lake or something like that. It was just, couldn't afford anything. I was, like I told you, I paid my way through college. My mom raised us by herself. She couldn't afford college. I was the first one in my family to ever go to college. So nobody else ever went to college. Nah, she's fine. She's fine. Fortunately, Kathy did not know me back then. If she would, I had a beard. I loved growing beards, by the way. I had long hair. I had a beard. I was pretty raw looking. And I partied a lot. So a person she would never give 2 cents to. But it wasn't until after college that I met Kathy. So, and we were thrown together by a manic depressive. This crazy guy threw us together. We probably would not have gone together if it wasn't for this guy thinking we were a couple. So he ended up being imprisoned at a psychiatric mental hospital for firebombing, buildings in Modesto, and he ended up. Well, he's dead nowadays, but the police kept track of him for us because he was a danger to us. So, kind of crazy. He was crazy. I mean, they put him in a psychiatric hospital. But that's how we sort of got thrown together, literally thrown together because of this crazy guy. Yeah, Bello. Yeah, I saw Bello too behind me. Hey, has your son caught any fish? Funk, has your son caught any fish? Go ahead and answer. Oh, I think there's a delay. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go up to the Diamond Lake next week, I think, and then do more of the Williamson next week. Not yet. Oh, he will. You saw in that last one of my latest videos about about me. After I got out of life support in the hospital, I wanted to see my son catch a fish. So we lived in Santa Clarita, so we drove to Apple Valley, where there was a stocked reservoir or stocked pond, basically, of trout, and they guaranteed that he would catch something. Which, if you looked at this pond with all the fish, piece of cake. And so I really wanted to see my son catch one. And not only did I see Russell catch something, but Lizzie too. And it was pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting. So it was, that was pretty much the only thing on my bucket list. And was to see my kids catch a fish. I know. But I just wanted to see it. It's so much fun. Catfish. You guys have great catfish back east. We don't have our catfish, they're not like 60 pounders, 50 pounders. You guys have 50-pound catfish. It's like catching a grouper, or something. You guys noodle them. You guys reach into this thing and pull them out. I don't know about noodling. I don't even know why they call it noodling. I mean, that's an Italian thing. No smart Italian is going to put their hands in a hole underwater. We ain't going to do it. So why you call it noodling? I don't understand it. I ain't doing it. Ain't no smart Italian in the world going to put their hand in an underwater cave to pull out a 50-pound fish, if that fish is in there. There's probably something meaner in there. That's right. Well, I don't know what y'all got in Connecticut. I don't know what y'all got there. I mean, you don't have like noodlers there? I don't know. What's in Connecticut? I don't know. I don't know what's in Connecticut. Next to New Hampshire, Rhode Island. I mean, you got fall colors. I don't know what's there. I don't think I even drove through Connecticut. I've been up there, but I don't know if I drove through Connecticut. But y'all got great fishing back there. I know that. So I just, in Oregon, trout is king. Now, I'm still a bass fisherman, but trout is king here. In the South, they have sturgeon. We don't have them. Oh, we have sturgeon here in the lake right down the street from me, 3 blocks down the street. They got a 300-pound sturgeon recently there. So, yeah, we have sturgeon here. So, but it's catch and release. They don't allow you to keep it. So if you hook into a 300-pound sturgeon here, you got to release it. Which imagine me on my kayak hooking into a 300-pound sturgeon. If you see me motoring across the lake, it's not because I got a motor. It's because I hooked into something big. So I can only imagine. The tournament last weekend, the biggest catch was a 7 1/4 pound bass, largemouth bass, 7 1/4 pound. And I'm thinking, if I would have hooked into that baby, you see me motoring across the lake, whooping and hollering like some guy in a movie. Oh my gosh. It was actually a fun time. I didn't catch anything on Saturday, just caught everything pre-event. So we have catfish, carp, bass, trout, perch, panfish, small salmon. Yeah, we don't have hardly any walleye here. Definitely carp. We got bullhead catfish, bass, trout, perch, panfish. Yeah, we got tons of perch. And we don't have just small salmon here. Kokanee salmon are small. But the Chinook, if you look up what a Chinook salmon is, spring Chinook season is hot right now, and it's on my fishing report. And you catch a spring Chinook, these are really large, river salmon, and of course we have a lot of other fish too, but steelhead is big too. Yeah, you do. You got Long Island Sound. So we have the Oregon coast right now. Flounder is doing really, really well off of our coast right now. Flounder and lingcod. I love lingcod. Big, thick, giant steaks. I mean, if I caught it, I don't know if I could pull up a lingcod in a kayak. And I have stabilizers, so my outriggers would probably give me the advantage. But lingcod, they swim straight down, and these things fight like you've got a snag, and you're just working that thing up, just muscling you and that fish. But when you pull it up, you have to gaff it. I mean, where are you going to put it in a kayak? Because these things have razor sharp needle teeth. You don't want to put that in a kayak. So I don't know. It's not a kayak fishing thing. And flounders fight. And so flounder is just going to kill it. Hey, Emma. Hey, guys. Hey. I was polishing lures earlier. So I made these ugly lures look awesome with my Dremel. Because I'm cheap. I'm poor. Because poor people polish lures. As a boat on the Sound and went out far, he got a sharking license and caught a big hammerhead. Oh my gosh. Took 4 guys to bring it. Oh my gosh. Hammerhead is everybody's favorite shark because it's so cool looking. The hammerhead's awesome. And I've seen some monster hammerheads. I mean, 20 footers. I mean, there's some mean, giant hammerheads out in the ocean. They're crazy. We used to catch blue shark off the coast of California. And the wonderful thing about shark, no bones. There's no bones. They're a cartilaginous fish. Besides the jaw, there's no bones in a shark. And so you cleaning it is a piece of cake. You don't even have to fillet it. I mean, you just slice that thing up and barbecue it. Shark is the best. Oh, no bones, no filleting, just cut it up. It tastes so good. Love shark. So, I'm thinking about a really fun giveaway for 300 people. So it's going to be a fun giveaway. Yeah, well, if you catch a hammerhead for $500, I mean, if I had $500, something I just did. I did total impulse buy. I did an impulse thing. I thought Kathy would get mad at me. She's not real mad till the bill comes. But I was shopping, getting some trout bait, and they had a kayak for sale. It was a lifetime kayak, and they make good kayaks for the money. And my son doesn't have one, so I bought a lifetime Tamarack kayak for my son. So hopefully this weekend we can get it wet for the first time and take him out on the lake. And he doesn't want to do the river. I think he's a little intimidated by the river, but I'll take him over to Lake of the Woods, I think, and for Saturday afternoon and get him out on the water in his new kayak. So that's actually pretty cool. So now I got 2 kayaks. So I was thinking about buying a boat, but $300, buy a kayak. $300. I know. Charged it. We pay our charge card off every month, but and I get points. Venture capital, get points. But anyway, that was my big thing. I'll post a video on it because there's some things, basic things. First thing, always buy an anchor. Always. I love my kayak. And I can't afford to buy that for my son, but always buy an anchor. First thing, always buy an anchor. And then because that had a lousy seat, I bought a stadium seat. You can buy stadium seats for $20, and it's and then strap it to the kayak instead of the ucky seat that it comes with. And so he's got a good seat. He'll have an anchor on the kayak for this weekend if he goes. So, and seats are important, and anchors cut down frustration. You got to have an anchor because you're always floating in a kayak. So if you can't stick yourself down in one spot, then you'll just get frustrated. You're always paddling and trying to cast. So definitely anchor and a good seat and good paddle. I actually went to my local kayak shop and bought him a good paddle. So he's got a good paddle. So $300 was a little more than that. It was like $450 for everything. But it's got 3 rod holders, and he's got a sort of an open hatch right between his legs. So I'm going to get like a Tupperware bowl and put it down in there, the Tupperware bowl inside the hatch, and just sort of double tape it to the hull. And this way he's got a dry area for his lures and stuff like that for a Tupperware bowl inside the hull. And he can just lift up the hatch, grab what he needs, close the hatch, and it seals. So it's amazing all the little things you could do. So you have to do a lot of extra stuff to them, like add more. Well, if you look at one of my videos on the added expense of kayaks. So if you buy, let's say, my kayak cost $800 new, something like that. It's a fill-free Moken 12.5. Fantastic. I'd recommend it to everybody. For $800, I don't think you can get a better kayak, and it is awesome. Now, in that added accessories, added expense kayak video, average probably about $500 more per kayak. Doesn't matter what you pay for kayaks, and you'll probably end up spending $500 more. So there are things that you're going to add to the kayak. And you're right. You're going to add a lot of stuff. But having an anchor is really the very first thing. I mean, you need PFD and stuff like that, which hopefully you already know that. But there are other little things that you're going, like with my Moken, I got a fish finder, a hydro wave. I got an electronics section that pops right into my kayak and then pulls right back out. And electronics is not a necessity. I also mentioned that you should have a pool thermometer. If you don't have a fish finder, you have a pool thermometer, and leave that in the water, because knowing the temperature of the water will tell you a lot on what you would be catching. And then an anchor will tell you how deep it is. So between temperature and depth, you got it whooped. So the hydro wave. Yeah. My kids got me this. That is a hydro wave. A little box of it. And what they did is they recorded the sound of bass, okay, underwater. And then they recorded it, and they put it on a chip inside this little controller, and then it comes with a speaker. And so what is that? I put the speaker next to my transducer for my my fish finder. And so my fish finder tells me what's underneath me. And this is the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And this makes bass feeding frenzy sounds. And that gets him excited. It really does. Because turn it off, this thing starts to just get clear. Turn it on, fish start to appear. I know. Yes, like the Livingston lures. Yes, it is. It's just like the Livingston lures, except there's more control on this. And it's just, yeah, like the Livingston lures. Very much. They have a hydro wave for bass and for different fishes. It's only cost like $90 for the kayak one. They have a $500 one for bigger boats. So the kayak one's great. It's portable. I use rechargeable 9-volt batteries in it, which last forever. They're fantastic batteries. I used to go through a 9-volt every time. Got too expensive, so they do have a 12-volt adapter, but I didn't want to run another wire to my 12-volt battery, so I just got rechargeable 9-volts, and they work great. Livingston has theirs. $75, one for bass, one for panfish, lobster. Huh. I didn't know that they made that. This is TH Marine invented this company. TH Marine did, and I did not know that Livingston, actually, Livingston lures. I didn't know they had a sound. Oh, they did. Oh, I knew that one. Okay, I did know about that one. Yeah. The fish collar. I guess you just hang that over your boat, huh? You just hang it over. So this one's really nice because you got volume control on it. You got pause. You have frenzy, and you have passive. So you got two different sounds that you can emit at variable different volumes of it, and you have full control over it. Because the guys who use it, the pros, always tell you to run it intermittently, like 1 minute on, 1 minute off, et cetera, et cetera. On the more expensive one, you can program it to do that. This one, I just press pause, and that's what I do, and it works. And so, it's funny. I compete against bass fishermen and bass boats, and none of them have the advantage that I do, which on a kayak, you also have the advantage of stealth mode. No motors, things like that. And I can also get into areas that they can't. So it's kind of nice. I mean, my live well, I can't keep 5 big bass alive, but I can keep 1 big bass. I always compete in big bass, big fish. Yesterday, I had 2 large trout in there, and they died just before I took out. So, just got them and put them in a bucket. That's what I did. So, but oh my gosh, I can't wait to hook in a 10-pound trout. I really can't. I mean, a 10-pound trout, and that's coming up soon. In 4 weeks, you'll see me pulling 10-pound trout out of the Klamath Lake because they're starting to hit right now, and the water's just warming up. It's supposed to be 80 degrees here today, which is hot to these people. And with 80-degree weather, we're going to get some really good fishing. So hopefully, I could take my son fishing this Saturday. His schoolwork has just got him way behind. So I saw some tests, one near a minnow trap and one without one. Crazy different. It was raining. Yeah, it does. You could see it on the fish finder. You could see what this does on this. If you don't believe this works, just see what it does to the fish activity under you. It makes it happens. It works. So I was trout fishing yesterday, so I didn't really use my hydro wave yesterday. But this weekend, I'll probably do both. Trout are very easy to catch right now, although the bass are biting. I love catching bass, especially topwater. Topwater bass are so much fun. Take a walking lure, bam, bam. Love it. Love it. All right, well, I'll let you go. It's been an hour exactly. So hopefully you guys learned a little something at the beginning of this video. Because if you're poor, this is great. If you're rich, buy another one. That's what you do. So I do have a box from Mystery Tackle Box coming in any day. And I've never bought one. So this is a panfish trout box. So I got plenty of bass stuff. So we'll go with panfish trout. So anyway, Funk, take care. Everybody else, have fun. And we'll see you guys out on the water. It's going to happen again. I do a lot of it. As soon as my health recuperates, I'll go back out there. Take care, everybody.